Shake my hand. Hope you guys are doing good. Just taking a break, man. Quite heavy in the markets right now. If you guys have been watching the videos, I appreciate you. If you've been subscribing, I appreciate you. If you've been commenting, I appreciate you on the YouTube. The next video you're about to watch is a very short clip of a class we actually had last night, right? So the question was, why are the Japanese, JPY pairs falling? What's going on with JPY? And I kind of like give a good breakdown on that kind of stuff that you guys should always be thinking about. So shout out to Caleb all the way from Kenya, right? Thank you for your question, brother, because your question then opened the door for me to address this via content. Guys, this Sunday, 4:30 p.m. South African time, SAT, I will be hosting a live Traders War Room. 4:30 on Sunday, this coming Sunday, I'll be hosting a live War Room. Hope to see you all there. Shake my hand. Talk a lot next week, Monday again, okay? But before we do this, guys, because this is what I mean by I'm not your target, and the people in your group are your first target. Your goal is to get to their level, and then their goal is to surpass where they are right now. And as a community, I'm really hoping as a community, we can start to talk to each other more often and not rely on Leroy, because I am unfortunately extremely busy and I'm trying to fast from this device. I did like 2 months, right? In fact, my 073 number is still off. So Telegram is just important because of classes. But if I didn't take an intake and I got done with you guys, which is the biggest temptation in my life right now, is after I'm done with module 2, no extra intakes, then I can really go through, the process that I want to go through, which is to trade with zero distractions, right? But it's a responsibility to run an academy as well. But anyway, long story short, I want you guys to focus on the questions in the private Telegram group, right? In the group that you guys are in. As you're focusing on those questions, I'm really hoping you guys can also start to learn from their potential mistakes, understand how they're thinking, how did they get there? Can you come up with a scenario? Will this help you later on, right? So let's just go through, and this is what I do. I read stuff, but I barely respond because I'm hoping someone in the group will, all right? And then I can see who's thinking what and operating where. So today we had a couple of questions, and this is important. So this is the 8, yeah. So just a quick one, what is a primary mover for JPY pairs? Because they've been of late, they've been falling very fast, right? So something happened in JPY. The Caleb from Kenya, very good question. Then Jason said, look, man, apparently, Japan declared a state of emergency, also very cool. So we've got a very good question. Caleb is clearly watching pairs, right? Imagine being able to pick up that there's something continuously happening across all JPYs. As a trader, you kind of have to be on top of that, because you could be trying to buy NZD JPY on some 4H4 demand, but the general currency is weakening, right? CAD JPY is falling, USD JPY is falling, this JPY, everything is weakening. Why, right? So I think that was a very good question. At least I'm glad that he's keeping an eye on the markets. Jason is on top of his stuff. Look, man, Corona, state of emergency, all right? And I want to take on there. Is there another question? Remote course, oh my goodness, of course, usual question. Thank you, Jason. Right, so I want to break this stuff down, because this is what I say to you guys. I teach you guys for about 8 weeks, all of you in the group, same amount of time. Spend more time with this private group than all my other previous WhatsApp groups. We used to have groups on WhatsApp, so group 17, 18. I spent lesser time with them. And the first 10 groups I've ever done, there was only one module, module 1. And then those guys had to just rely on the notes. I don't think I was sharing recordings then. I was extremely paranoid because I spent 6 months in court fighting some guy who had stolen my material and tried to sell it and tried to scam people using 365 name. So I was extremely protective. I never used to share recordings. I never used to share PDFs, yada, 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 yada. And here we are now. So those people, the group 1 to 10, you will know them as senior traders, most of them anyways, are there. The next question was, by the way, inside the Telegram group is like, Jason, where do you get this information from? How did you know Japan was at a state of emergency, right? And that's just basic news, right? It could be on any news channel, right? But I like getting my stuff here. So this is what I'm going to share with you right now, right? And everyone else that I've taught before, they've seen me talk about Forex Live. I've also actually told people to come here on our war rooms, public events. So it's not like a secret, thing of information, right? So all you do is type forexlive.com. Here are the rules of forexlive.com. We will talk about what I want us to talk about tonight, but let's break this stuff down. Let's answer this question so I don't have to do a separate video, etc., etc. Now, forexlive.com is amazing because all of these guys are really good financial analysts, and it's not like 50 of them. So it's like a team of 5 to 6 to about 10 at the most. Really, it could be smaller, and they are all very much good full-time market analysts. Number one. Number two, I like them because I've been following their stuff for years now, and they're generally on top of it. Now, different traders come to Forex Live for different reasons. 365 traders, don't even bother opening this tab. Do not take trade. You can back test them, right? You can come here if you think I'm just being too controlling, right? So what you want to do is come here, open these charts, and take these trades on an account you don't mind losing money on, or simply just back test all the buys and sells. Do it for a month because you won't really have good data until you have, if you do it over a short span of time. So for 4 weeks, literally follow this tab and see where they say buy or sell, and see if you would actually still have your account at the end of the month, right? Technical analysis or different traders strategies, it's just different, guys. It's very difficult for me to say this without sounding like a 365 snob that our stuff is superior, blah, blah, blah. I did not create supply and demand. Okay, I did not create supply and demand. It is not a Leroy thing, right? I am definitely a market researcher, sure. I've tried a lot of technical analysis tricks, absolutely. Spent many years in the markets doing that. But supply and demand, I got to that conclusion through research and realizing that is just how markets work. Now, we are all different Forex traders. Everyone's got their egos up there. Even the people with a 10% win rate, they're out there selling courses, all right? So I can't change that. Come here rarely, if never, or come to back test it and compare it with supply and demand. So you'll come to technical analysis because you think, you know what? This guy said, let me buy USD JPY. And then you look at your supply and demand levels and your MTA, and you make a decision whether or not you really should be buying there. All right. I don't open this tab, and I haven't in years, because I don't want any type of conflicting data in my mind. The human mind is a very fragile, very sensitive thing, right? Every idea can literally grow in a trader's mind. How I advise people to use Forex Live is simple. When I come here, I'm here 3 times a day or twice a day. I start my day with this after my meditation routine at about 8-ish, 7:30 a.m., right? In preparation for the London session that starts at 9, I'll open this, all right? What am I doing? I'm just looking at headlines. That's what I'm doing. It's unlikely that US JPY will move lower. Like will move lower is a false dawn, right? So, okay, fine. Fed banking supervision vice chair, right? So something going on with the Feds, very important. These are the governors, right? This market was digging deeper for a reason, to hit panic button, but couldn't find it. Our stocks are falling, by the way. So that's what they're talking about. CDC director says rapid rise of Delta variant is troubling. So we're back to that COVID fear. Troubling, fear in the markets. Equities, stocks are dropping, fear in the market. The market is at a panic, fear in the markets. See, I'm picking up themes. I'm just reading headlines. Like I don't care. I don't even open the full story personally, because in the full story, he's going to give you his analysis and his trade idea. I don't want that. I just want to know, since it's your job to read every single news headline, keep a good ear on the ground, see every press statement. I don't have time to do that, but it's definitely his job to do it. So he must then give me a summary of what's going on. So I do this at 8 a.m. I do it at 1 p.m. All right. So I've got a routine around this. At 1 p.m. before New York session starts, I check again. And then if I have time and I'm not tired at night before I go to sleep, I check again. Now, if some of us had remembered this, then you'll see somewhere in here, it will talk about Japan. I'm not saying this is where Jason found it, but I'm simply saying it's just an easier place because all traders news, I trust Forex Live, right? There are many other outlets. I like this one. So this is a BOJ, right? Anything BO, just think about it, means Bank of. So Bank of Japan reportedly expected to cut growth focus for the year. I'm reading like Zuma now, right? To cut growth focus for the year as virus restrictions dampen the outlook. There's going to be problems in the economy. People are not going to be working because the virus is rampant there. Number two, Japan officially declares state of emergency. So this is number one, right? So this is where I get my news. I treat this as a sentiment indicator, not a fundamental outlook of an instrument. Fundamentals look at the intrinsic value of an asset. If an asset is too cheap, there's an intrinsic value for the need for that asset to start to appreciate. So we buy it, right? So it'll be a fundamental outlook. Sentiment is what's the temperature in the market. Sentiments can change overnight. It can be hot today in the markets, can be cold tomorrow in the markets. It's just a sentiment, right? It's a nice way to keep in touch with what's going on, right? So I'm done. I literally, there's tons more headlines, but for my trading process, I now know, okay, there's a lot of fear in the market, stocks are falling, Japan, a safe haven, is going through a lot. Japan, a safe haven, is going through a lot, right? Done, okay? That's number one. But let's answer number two. Why a JPY pair is falling? Let's say you didn't know about this, and most of you who've never traded before, it's your first time seeing this. Okay, that's fine. So you didn't know the sentiment. You didn't even know about Corona in Japan. You're still busy with Corona in your own place in Africa here. What is the best place in the world to understand what is going on with the charts? Internet has been slow today. I don't know whether I'm updating my PlayStation or whatever. Anyways, I don't know, but I would prefer, and I think the best way to keep track of what is going on in the markets is the charts. Why? Price is everything. Price is in everything. Let's look at USD JPY. Just going to do a quick exercise. I'm going to open USD JPY. I'm going to go to a better broker. I'm going to go to Saxo. For teaching purposes, then I'm going straight to my governing time frame. I'm on my governing time frame on Saxo. I'm looking at USD JPY. I'm on my governing time frame on Saxo. I'm looking at USD JPY. Did we do this yesterday? Me and you, did we talk about number 3? See what I just did there? You see that's a bearish engulfing pattern. I'm assuming the answer is a yes, right? And I'm just scanning. What's going on here? A bearish engulfing pattern. Put up an arrow in case they can't see it. 1 on USD JPY on the governing time frame. 2. Would price have fallen even if there wasn't COVID in Japan today? Yes, because price is at a supply. You understand? So I don't need to know all of this. I need to do what this is telling me to do. That's why we sold, right? I did a video yesterday on the FOMC stuff telling you that these things are approaching strong supplies. DXY is a strong supply. USD JPY is going to fall, blah, blah, blah. But all I need to do is to figure out what my governor is doing. Not yet convinced. I can smell it. You're not yet convinced. Let's look at another one. Let's go to CAD JPY. I'm just going through random JPY pairs. Let's see how many of them are here. I'm on the governing time frame. I'm on the governing time frame of CAD JPY. Is it a miracle that you see, structure, guys, structure comes first. This is November 2015. This is a fresh touch to the November 2015, right? This area is still intact. My yellow line is 50% of my order block. It's not yet breached. There's a lot of sell pressure in there. I just sell. COVID in Japan, no COVID in Japan. My governor is selling, I'm selling. Okay, you with me? It does. Again, I'm just talking to people who don't know where to get this, or people who, when they get here, they don't understand. They don't even understand what's going on. That's fine. Your module 2s. There's the answer there, right? So CAD JPY is at a governing supply. Price is everything. Price is in everything. I live by that. Here you can then come and fill in the context Oh, okay, so price was already at a supply. Price had already started falling. The catalyst of a fast-paced fall now is because there's COVID in Japan, right? There's context now, but it's not the mover, it's not the cause, right? I believe strongly that structure moves first, the news. The news just comes in to fill this thing in. Stuff is too planned, right? For a simple headline to change the flow of $6 trillion US per day. The one thing that rich people do is protect their money with their lives, guys. You know, Lucy Parsons, an old female anarchist in America, she's the reason why there's something called an 8-hour week now. Before that, people used to work for 10, 12, 16 hours per day. There was no regulation of what abuses in the workplace. It was actually an anarchist who created Labor Day, right? So Workers' Day on the 1st of May, Workers' Day is an anarchist holiday, right? By Lucy Parsons. Anyways, she has this famous quotation that says, "Never be fooled, the rich will never allow you to vote away their power and wealth." Right? So she's basically, anarchists are against elections. They think they're a waste of time because really whatever you guys are choosing to vote for has nothing to do with the true mechanisms of money, right? Not even COVID is controlling the economy. NZD-JPY, chart number 3, where is price right now today? Remember, one of our colleagues is saying, what's going on in the marketplace? Price is falling everywhere. Why is JPY pairs falling everywhere? Is it because of COVID? Jason says, yes, there is a catalyst. And I completely agree with him. That would absolutely help. But even last month, guys, the JPY pairs already started falling. Even last month, JPY pairs had already started falling. All right, NZD JPY. Let's find another one. The last one. I'm hoping I've convinced you guys. I'm hoping you guys can see that the stuff is really plannable. And it's not to say that rapidity for fun. It's to say because it is, because we can predict price. You see all my charts. All my charts are ready. So for my corporate account, I'm in. When I got in last month. In fact, in most of these, I won't even lie, sometime in June, mid-June, etc. As soon as these areas were done retesting, that's when I got in. I got in simply based on the fact that there's something that's been priced in, but markets are clearly in a strong area of value where supply exceeds demand. Therefore, the only thing I'm doing is selling, right? USD JPY, did we do that already? Yes, we did. CAD JPY, the pound JPY, Swiss franc JPY we've done, NZD JPY. We started with AOD JPY. The last pair that I have here for what I would like to look at, the 25 pairs I'm focused on this financial quarter, is Euro JPY. So far, all of them are moving the same way. Come on, man, 365 traders, come on. Right, I say this stuff is not hard. And I'm always holding myself back from also saying this stuff is easy. When you get to a place where you've mastered your basics and you've got your rules down, what else is price supposed to do? It got into supplies at the same time in June. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trade ideas perfectly aligned waiting for you. 7 trade ideas took over in June, right? And since June, all 7 pairs moving at the same time, easily predictable. All 7 of them have given you about 416 pips roughly each, right? I'll do 400 here and I'll just choose one more. I just want to see the pip range. Did you guys, temperature chess, man, is this making sense? Is this making sense? This is which one's one? CAD JPY. Guys, is this making sense? Temperature check. I just want to calculate the pips on at least 2, just to see where we are. So there's a drop. So it's almost 3, 4, almost 400. Yeah, so on an average, 7 pairs giving you 400 pips each so far, right? That's about 2,800 pips, and it just depends on your account size and lot size. Temperature check, guys. Do you see the stuff? Because if you can cement yourself around the stuff, this is module 1, right? We can agree that there is a catalyst that's allowing price to move a whole lot faster today, but that's not where the move started. My job and your job is to become part of the people trading at the creation of a trend, so that when the news comes out on the 7th and the 8th of July, We are 300 to 400 pips in. Because of this, there's going to be retracements now. Now that retail traders know that JPY, you're going to see there's going to be a little bit of buying because now sellers are running in to sell low and they're going to retrace, and then we're going to get a second time to add positions, higher sell, and that's where you guys should try to enter again. Right, this particular market, right? Because it's overextended. I mean, look at USD JPY. I mean, I was laughing at this today because it's literally been 24 hours since I did the live YouTube stream and I said this was going to happen. I broke it down in your guys' class last night. I started last night's class with USD JPY saying there's news at 8 p.m. Fundamentally, you know, it shouldn't change much. But if you look at the structure, why is price running so fast towards a supply and removing a supply to get to a better supply? Why would price randomly do that? You guys remember me doing this yesterday with you? 1 hour time frame. Let's go to H4. I just want to quickly find the level where we were yesterday. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking about DXY. I was talking about DXY yesterday. Remember this yesterday, DXY? And then I drew 2 lines. And then I said, at the end of the day, this is the place where price is going to stop. And price had taken out this supply. And I said, there's a whole fresh target between white area of value and red line. And this is where price stopped yesterday. And then since then, throughout the news release, price just kept dropping. And here we are now, right? And naturally, the dollar index then bled through every single dollar pair. Or not every single, but you can see USD JPY, extensive correlation, removal of demands. If you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, it was just a beautiful color of red, right? Look at this. What's the day today? Today is the 8th. So let's start from yesterday, 8 p.m. news release so people can see the stuff. There's 8 p.m. there. Markets barely moved much and just continued with the plan. I'm trying to plop an arrow there. FOMC started talking here. Then price did what? Gave us a, come on, you can see it there, it's an hour. Price, FOMC is talking for 1 hour. I said after 2 hours, markets would have made up their minds on how to move. There's 8 p.m., this is in 1 hour time frame. By 10 p.m., what do we have? Right? Is this not supply and demand number 4? Right? It's not a bearish engulfing pattern. This is the 1 hour time frame. Yesterday, someone asked me, I think it was Connie, and she's not here today. She asked me, well, how long do I have to wait for it to get retested? Well, 2 hours later, a clean entry was presented. 2 hours later, a clean entry was presented. I didn't do it, right? I literally said after class, I'm going to sleep. I was so tired. I watched the speech and then went to sleep. But at about 2 a.m., which is the beginning of change of money, the Asian session starts, right? Price gave you an entry point, which was then taken at 5 a.m., right? So those people part of the 5 a.m. club, this is it there. Either your pending order was placed before you went to sleep or when you woke up, whatever it is, there it is. A price hit that, came back to retest this bearish engulfing pattern and has not come back. This is money, guys. It looks like pretty candles, but there's a lot of money in one day, all right? It's just that. Keep my rules simple, keep them clean, repeat them. Simple, clean, repeat. Right, guys, the time is 7:10. My long introductions are done. It's been 30 minutes as usual. I always do something like that. Let me just double check. I asked for a temperature check. This is fire. Okay, suddenly you're happy. Fantastic. Yep. Yes. Retail traders wouldn't have seen it as a sell. It broke the trend line. Yeah, absolutely. I did note that trap. Right? The Forex market is not for basic retail trading strategies. Melissa, I completely agree with you. Guys, this is all it is, right? So you can come here to keep up with what's going on. I never open these graphs. I never open the technical analysis. I don't care for it. I like to just figure out, you know, what's the sentiment? Is there blood on the streets? Quickly, because I'm going to share this first part of the video with the private group as well. I just want to let you guys know USD JPY when and it's getting into Mr. Sia's question a bit, but I want to do Sia's question quite separately. USD JPY is one of the only currencies. Okay, understand this one now. One of the only currencies that measures risk appetite in the market. So when I talk about risk appetite, let's go to the whiteboard. It's not in your curriculum, so I might as well just be random like this, and hopefully you guys can learn from this stuff, because this kind of stuff that you learn by by getting burnt over time in the markets until you open your minds to patterns, right? So when I say risk appetite, right, there are two types of risk, and we'll talk about them a bit in module 2. Risk version 1 is risk on, and the second part of risk in the market, these are sentiments, not fundamentals. Supply and demand would be more of a combination of fundamentals, the ones that our price is already priced in, and the technical structure of the chart. That's what I've been teaching you, right? But sentiment is the temperature gauge. Is it hot or cold in the markets? Safe to invest, not safe to invest. That's sentiment. We call it risk on or risk off, okay? That's what it is, risk on or risk off. Right, now, and guys, you know, apologies for the hairstyle, man. When I am working in the third financial quarter, it is only my partner is the only one who knows how to get me out of this office and into bed, right? There's just so much going on, and you just never know when there's massive pullbacks, you know, if you're going to get them again in future. So you want to maximize, you'll go through this in your life. You'll get to a place where you understand market cycles. There are some people within 365 who are much better than me, even though I'm the one who's taught them, and they've developed their own strategies, and they've created their own trader's edge within supply and demand, right? I've hired about 6 or 7 of them who've gone through the course, and they are all phenomenal 6-figure traders, but we don't all perform at the same level in each financial quarter. Some of them are great in the first financial quarter when markets are thin and people are coming from holiday and it's just the December blues. I'm not one of those people, because December is my last quarter of the year, right? Sorry, January to March, that's my last quarter. So I'm in that burnout period that most people get to in November, December. You know how you guys are all tired towards the end of the year? My end of the year is January, February, March. So I'm not that focused in markets then, man. I want to teach more, or you'll see me dip and disappear. So I'll take one, like I'll go like away for 2-3 weeks, etc. It's just market cycles, right? Now, in market cycles, there'll be multiple layers of sentiment. So let's say the dollar is supposed to be strong. We have a strong dollar. That is the fundamental outlook of the dollar. The FOMC on the 16th of June said it's increasing interest rates. NFP said, look, man, we're creating 850,000 jobs last month in June. The economy is thriving. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, right? Cool. People were overspending the money that Biden promised and gave, right? So the dollar is strong. The sentiment is off right now, right? That's why it's falling. You see, so fundamentally, you can be going through a period like this market cycle. If I lose you, man, if I lose you, you stop me. You just tell me to repeat something. Fundamentally, this thing is strong. This thing is strong, but there might be a short period in time in the strength of the dollar where it does a dip, right? You know, the zigzag, right? And fundamentally, this might be due to these sentiments here, risk on or risk off. Maybe we're risk on, and then assets fall, or, you know, specific assets. Some assets will fall and rise, but that's what I want to quickly talk to you guys about. When we are risk on, it's quite simple. This is the best way to remember it. Risk on means I want to invest. So you jump onto your affirmations. See where mine are? Very close to me. I keep this in front of me all the time. And you pretend you're a billionaire. And as a billionaire, you want to invest. When the markets are risk on, investors, big investors, hedge funds, banks, institutions, they do it. They will put money. They will literally invest their money because it's risk on. It's okay. It's cool. It's safe to invest, right? So NASDAQ will do well. Stocks will fly because risk is referring to risk-sensitive assets. Anything that can drop, based on a headline. Stocks can drop based on a headline. The CEO was sleeping with the PA while the wife was looking after the kids. Boom, your stock is gone, right? Just like that, right? Corona is shutting down the country, and the company you're investing in relies on labor to work. So if you're heavily invested in construction, like I am right now because of Biden, right? If Biden is president, get into infrastructure. Simple. If a Democrat is president, invest in infrastructure. That's all they do. All right, so infrastructure did amazingly well under Obama, dropped under Trump, it's back up again, right? You saw the crazy lumber stuff, just Wealthy in 3 years program, there's a lot of infrastructural stocks out there up for grabs. But in any case, rich people, billionaires, are looking for these risk sensitive assets, and when the markets are risk on, it means they are happy to invest in them. As a billionaire, by the way, I'm not a billionaire, I'm saying in our heads as billionaires, you have to think about how these people think. They are not loyal to NASDAQ or US 30 or the dollar or gold or Bitcoin. They are loyal to money. So the moment markets turn off, the moment we are risk off, these guys will not hesitate to pull out their money and go dump it at a safer place. Because as a billionaire, my job is to remain a billionaire. My job is not to become a millionaire. My job is to make more money, more billions, right? Hedge funds are running billionaire type of companies for their clients. Their job is to make more money for them. So as soon as stocks and equities are troubling down, are falling because there's something, COVID will create a risk-off sentiment, right? Immediately, things like the dollar, safe havens, gold, safe havens, JPY, safe havens. And unfortunately, because I hate it so much, Swiss franc, safe havens, / Bitcoin, safe haven. Immediately, these guys will get a juice of money because billionaires are taking money out of here and going, we'll be back, but we'll only be back when we're back to risk on. All right. It's the job of a hedge fund. So when you're managing companies' money, it's my job to quickly anticipate the market climate and go, you know what, for the next 2 weeks, I can make more money buying gold because it's going to be a strong spike, and then take those profits and then put them back at risk on assets after 2 weeks. During that time, what is happening in the markets? This is a full picture, guys. Check this out. NASDAQ was going up for 3 months, whatever, you know, and then all of a sudden we're risk off. Something has gone wrong. What's going to happen to NASDAQ? Remember, I'm an investor, or I'm a hedge fund for an investor. I bought low. Now we are at a risk of sentiment. Look at price. There's nothing to do with your class tonight, but it's got a lot to do with your life, you know, moving forward. Price will drop because we're at risk off. And price is not just dropping because of risk off. Price is dropping because smart money, right? Strong money, smart money, big money, bank money, institutional money is doing what? Is withdrawing, taking profits, removing from the top because they want to keep all these gains, and they're not going to buy yachts like social media would have you believe. No. They're going to dump it at safe havens because safe havens are already at low points if there was no need for them. So all of a sudden, gold starts to go up, right? As this thing starts to drop. And then when the risk sentiment is gone, when a new headline clears the situation, when everything is fixed, whatever was broken in the world, and we're back to being risk on again, where's price here? All your stocks, your risky assets, the things that you like to buy are now at a perfect buy low. So now I bring back the profits from here and I move them there. Money changes hands like this all the time. All the time. That's what you're tracking. But if you can't picture it this way, stick to the basics. What's a governor doing? You just do that per chart. Per chart. Eventually, you won't even notice that you were playing this game with the banks. You are just doing what your governor was doing. But at the end of the day, you are playing this game with the banks as well. Perfectly. Okay, right. So I don't remember where I was going with this, but it's absolutely important that this is crystal clear. Right, and then, you know, hopefully when your colleagues, you know, watch this video as well, they'll let me know if they're satisfied with the answer. But JPY pairs are falling because they're supposed to fall, right? The lockdown is simply interesting. Like if you go through your charts, go see the beginning of COVID. For me, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. Well, I do want to get into them, but off the record. But for me, it's fundamentally interesting, man. It's crazy that these things happen at supplies. I mean, is a virus planning when it's going to strike in the markets? This is the dollar index. I've never done this with you guys, so let's quickly do it together. This is the dollar index. This is the index that tracks the dollar, DXY. You've seen me come here a lot of times. This is December 2016. This is January 2017. I repeat, this red candle here is January 2017.
Excuse me, Leroy.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not sharing your screen.
It's my ugly face again. I apologize. Is that better?
Yeah, it's cool.
Fantastic. Right. So I'll start again. Sorry about that. The passion. Apparently, I released a YouTube video, and at the end of the video, the last 10 minutes, I forgot to share a screen. Hilarious. Right. Okay. Anyways, so here it is here. This is what I'm talking about. This, you see the date down there? 2nd of January 2017. Guys, I can't make this stuff up. This is the 2nd of January 2017. Let me Google something random. When was Donald Trump not born? President. Just gonna do this real quick for you, man. Come on, slow internet. You see that there? So Trump was elected president in January 2017. This is not a video game. This is just the markets. I didn't make this. It's not my software. It's just the markets. You take what you want from it. This is January 2017. And somewhere in this massive bearish engulfing candle, Trump becomes president. Price falls. This is 2018. After Trump has done 1 year of his presidency, he starts to pick fights with China. So there are trade deals. I don't know if you guys saw this stuff in the headlines. 2019 was like the year of just trade. The sentiment was war. Who's Trump fighting? UK, Europe, Mexico, China, trade deal after trade deal, punishing people for failing for trade deals, charging a lot of tariffs. It was just a crazy year for Trump, but that made the dollar strong. So price then created a demand, right? Fine, that's neither here nor there. Now let's follow price, guys, just logically. Like, look at this now. What's this here? What's going on here? This is now March 2020. I repeat, this long doji candle that barely makes it. Look where the body stops. The body stops there and then it wicks in. Is the beginning of March 2020. Let's go back to Google. When did COVID-19 start? Look, man, and we must be careful with this question. So there's a December one, right? And then we know it becomes very popular in February. Okay, we might not have time to unpack all of it, but a lot of this is because archived in December 2019, blah, blah, blah. There's something more significant in Feb. COVID-19, February, China, I don't know. I'm just trying my luck. I would not know what to Google, but it's something big happens the 17th of Feb, 20th of Feb, or some of that. Okay, there's something similar. This is this year. This last year. I'm looking for 2020, man. Come on. Coronavirus. Okay, so this is the world's whatever meter starts from about 26th of February, but there's a better one that starts from 17th of February. Current regulations 5th. This is 2021. Look, you'll find it, but essentially the world starts to understand COVID from the second half of February in 2020. The dollar inches into a supply right at the beginning of March and has been falling ever since. Trump enters here. This is called the Trump supply. At least in my senior war room, we call this the Trump supply. And you can do the same thing with Obama's presidency, right? Obama gets into power in 2008. You can do the same with Obama's presidency. Obama is a Democrat. When was Obama? I'm really wasting time tonight. Obama, there we go. All right, so November 2008, that's when Obama comes into play. Look at this, August, September, October, November. What happens next to November? Bearish engulfing candle. Price retests, breaks, goes for a higher supply, drops. Just look at this. New president starts over the supply, drops. Obama starts here, drops. This is Obama's demand though, because Obama had 2 terms. And the second time around during his second term, Obama is the one who puts the dollar and Trump all the way up there. And now Trump is falling. If by the time you complete module 2, I'll teach you about Fibonacci. It's the last thing I'll show you right now, where you simply draw a simple tool and you're looking for a golden retracement. There it is, there's 61.8% golden retracement from the last Obama demand all the way to the Trump supply. Where's the dollar discount? 61.8% zigzag. Can you guys see the zigzag? Right, this is what we've been talking about. This is the zigzag on my governing chart. I can track it, I can predict it. There's a Trump demand that's created, and then this happens. When does Biden come in? Biden takes over from a demand. It's not hard, guys. It's not, I promise you it's not hard, but you will lose money if you refuse to follow the rules. That's the trick. There'll always be a better trader, and that trader is better, not because he's smarter than you, he's disciplined. She is disciplined. They are rule-based traders, but this stuff is mapped out. It should stop being amazing that we take little losses, over a span of time. Yes, you can't be right all the time, but you can definitely mitigate the number of times you lose in the markets. I completely stand by that, right? Because the stuff there is out there, right, guys? That was the last random thing I wanted to show you. I hope that helped, right? I hope that it helps whoever's going to rewatch this stuff. Let's talk about what we need to talk about tonight, right? So I've answered everyone's question in the Telegram group. It's just easier if I do this in video format because I hardly ever come back to type, because sometimes my explanations are long. I used to type stuff, it's like 5 pages. Videos quick and clear. Right, so tonight I want us to learn and do supply and demand curve. Supply and demand curve. That's what I want to teach on tonight, right? And this is the next tool, all right? And I think it's